Good morning, Pirate Nation. Sorry about earlier. We had a few technical difficulties. We're going to start all over. We're looking forward to a wonderful week this coming week. We're going to talk a little bit about the board vote and how that will look here at Corinth Holders and just a couple of other opportunities that are coming through this week. First, the bus commitment form and the virtual change form are due by Tuesday at midnight. So that is this Tuesday by midnight. The bus commitment form is the form where you will go on and commit your student to riding the bus starting October 19th, but you'll also answer a lot of questions in reference to screening, the COVID screening, and giving permission and all of that. So make sure you take an opportunity to do that before Tuesday at midnight. Also, the virtual change form. So if you have your student listed as a virtual student right now and wish for them to move into the cohort model, you will need to do that change form by Tuesday at midnight. Again, once that closes, students that are in virtual will be there for the remainder of this semester. So it's very important that we do that. Also, you can eat like a pirate again this Wednesday from 4 to 8 p.m. That's going to be at Panera Bread in White Oak. You can dine in or you can get takeout, and that'll support our athletic program. So moving on to the board vote to return for high school on October 19th. A couple of popular questions right now are freshmen going to get their IDs, and are we going to do parking passes for student drivers? Yes to both of those questions. We are going to have a time slot on 3 different days prior to October 19th for 9th graders to come in by appointment and get their IDs, because they will need those for the key fobs to get in and out of the building. Also, we will sell parking passes. It will be at a reduced rate because we haven't been at school the whole time. It will be for $50. And we will communicate that process moving forward here shortly. Also, we will be in a 2-cohort model starting on the 19th. That means cohort 1 will come on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesdays we will have remote learning, asynchronous remote learning, and then we'll have cohort 2 coming on Thursdays and Fridays. So there'll be 2 cohorts. They will be separated by the last name. We cannot communicate what that split will be just yet, because we have to wait for the commitment form for virtual. So we have to get a total number of students that will actually be coming to our campus prior to making that commitment to that last name, because it could fluctuate really by 80 to 100 students depending on which letter we choose to end or start the second cohort. So it will be by alpha for that. The sanitation process, there is an updates page on our main website where we go over the things that we do for sanitation. There's been a lot of questions about what we do at the school level. There will be sanitation in between classes. There will be deep sanitation every evening with the fogging misting machine that they talked about at the board meeting last week. So there will be deep sanitation every day. And there will be sanitation in between classes. The sanitation in between classes is not going to be as in-depth as the fogging machine will hit each and every evening. It'll be more of a wipe down of touchable surfaces in between classes. So there will be sanitation in place for that. We will have students entering the building from the front part of the building for student drivers. We will be checking temperatures there, asking them the screening questions, and then getting them to class. We will have students entering from the carpool, which is on the football side, and we will take temperatures and we will ask them the screening questions and get them to class. And then we will have students at the back of the school that will be offloading the buses. We will be taking temperatures and asking the screening questions as well. So every point of contact with the student before they enter, we will have the screening questions and temperature checks. Now, students will not be allowed in the building prior to 6:45. So carpool will not start and unload until 6:45. So students cannot get out of the cars, students will not get off the bus or anything until 6:45. The reason for that is because staff cannot be here until 6:45, and we need to make sure staff are in place because it's going to take a lot of working parts and moving parts to make this work for everyone. So that's very important. I know some parents are used to trying to drop off prior to 6:45 in the carpool line, but that can't happen moving forward. So just want to go ahead and give you a heads up on that now so we can make preparations for that. Now, hallways. When students enter the hallways, they'll see signs on the floor that say 6 feet apart, and those signs are actually spaced 6 feet apart all along our floors. So we are going to ask students that they are going and stay that distance in between when they're walking down the halls. They have to wear a mask at all times when in the building and when in the classroom. So all of those things will be enforced. Now, when they are in the classroom spacing is actually going to be more like 3 feet, and they're going to be all facing the same way. So we're not going to be facing each other where we're speaking at someone or towards someone. We do have more capabilities to put students in the classroom at 3 feet apart. In the hallways, it'll be 6 feet apart. So there will be spacing in the classrooms as well. Masks still have to be worn in the classroom at all times during that time. We will change classes. We will have a little bit longer period in between classes that'll allow for that sanitation in between. There will not be time for students to sit there and socialize. They can't, hold hands, hug, give high fives. They just need to move from point A to point B in between classes. So we will have class change between every single block, because we will visit every block every day. They will not stay in the same classroom all day while they are here. Sorry, our lights just went off in here. Eating in the classrooms. They will not eat in the cafeteria. They will eat lunch in their classrooms with a teacher. So that we'll determine how that process will go. We are still working through that, but just know that they will not be going to the cafeteria to eat lunch. They will be required to eat it in the classroom. Again, we are trying to minimize contact as much as possible, and there are certain areas where we just can't have a lot of people at one time. If your child is in PE, for example, we cannot use locker rooms right now for changing out. So we'll have alternate activities for PE. There's a lot of things that we have to adjust here and there, but we will work through it together. We will figure it out, and we will keep moving forward because we do want students back in this building. A lot of people are asking about orientations. We had an orientation video that was applied more to that remote learning style piece. We will come out with some more orientation videos, especially for our 9th grade students and for everyone, about how this will look. Again, we don't have a ton of all the exact details yet because we just found out just when you did as well. So we are making sure we get all those details together, but we're trying to communicate as much as we can to you now so those people can make a decision prior to Tuesday's deadline. So we will have some orientation videos to prepare students to come back. When they get back in the building, we will have time dedicated in their first block classes for every student to go over things about expectations, handbooks, and some other orientation videos as well. So they'll still get that information once they arrive, but we'll give you some of the basic need information just for getting them into school and getting them to their first block. So we'll go over all of that as well in the pre-orientation videos. The virtual format. So yes, we will have 2 cohorts, but you're going to hear me refer to it as 3. So you'll have cohort 1, cohort 2, and then our 3rd cohort is our virtual students. So we will always be serving our virtual students. So technically we have 3 cohorts, but 2 that actually come on site. So virtual format. All of our students that are in the virtual format will still be served by their same teacher right now. It's because of the way high school schedules are made and the amount of course offerings we have. Every teacher is going to be teaching their own student. So if you have Brian Johnson as your math teacher and you are in the virtual format, you will still have Brian Johnson as your math teacher even when students return back to school. So you just will have a different schedule you'll have to follow for your synchronous times. There will be recordings, there will be pre-recorded things, there will also be additional time built into our schedule to help with office hours. So that being said, the schedule. So the schedule is going to be different than a regular schedule here at Corinth Holders High School. We're used to going to about 87-minute blocks, and we're used to having smart lunch for 1 hour in between 3rd and 4th block. And that's that instructional lunch where they could go to intramurals, they can go to clubs, they can eat in the cafeteria, they go to teachers' classrooms, all of that. We can't do that when we return because we can't eat in the cafeteria. So we will have a different schedule model moving forward until we have a plan A where we return in plan A. When we return in plan A, we will go back to more of our standard model of teaching and our standard model schedule. So as of right now, our schedule will look like this. We will have 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th block. They will be back to back to back to back. So they will go right after one after each other. They will be about 1 hour to 1 hour and 10 minutes long. The reason being is students are still going to be served virtually. So you'll have students that are in the classroom, and you'll have two groups of students, so your other cohort and your virtual students that are not in the classroom, that are still going to be served by that teacher. So we don't want students on a virtual lesson for 90 minutes. That's just too much back to back, and we're worried that we'll lose our students there, and it's just a lot to do at home. So they will be in class for about an hour per block. Then we'll have lunch. After lunch, we will have something called pirate time for the remainder of the day. For students that are on campus, that time will be instructional support, it'll be remediation, it'll be acceleration, it'll be intended to help with the instruction that you might have lost prior to coming back to school on the 19th. So that's going to be a very important key time to get students caught up or to make sure they are where they need to be with their courses. So we will communicate how that time will be structured a little bit closer, but it's important to know, again, you will have first block, second block, third block, fourth block, lunch, then pirate time. And again, that pirate time is an instructional support time that is key to making sure we get caught up and helping students with anything they may have lost since March. So it's kind of that where we can zone in and really help our students out there. So again, how that virtual will look, we're going to have teachers that are going to be streaming live during first block, and they might have a live session, but after their lesson's over, they might cut the live session off because there's no need to stream while they're just sitting there walking around and supporting students and telling them whether they got it right or wrong. But there will be a recorded session that they can then post. There might be pre-recorded lessons that the students that are at home will watch and review, and then they will come in halfway. Let's say the class starts at 7:15. Again, the lights went off, sorry. 7:15. Then they might come in about 7:45 and get that assistance with that teacher live. So there will still be live components, but it won't be just always 60 minutes of permanent live instruction feed. So there will be a combination of pre-recorded, live, things posted asynchronously and synchronously. So we will still be doing a lot of things through our Canvas platform. So that's just important for you to know. We will, again, will there be kinks that we need to fix as we start this process? Absolutely. Will there be things that we have to adjust? Absolutely. Will we do that? Yes. Because we are going to try to do what is in the best interest of our students, try to make sure they are on track, make sure they are on track with understanding their content, they're on track with school, and with everything they need to do to be successful here at Corinth Holders High School. So that's a little bit about what it will look like each day. We will dismiss starting around 2. We have about a 15-minute dismissal window because it's going to take a little bit longer. Because we have to board buses differently. We have to get students out differently. So we will have a dismissal between 2 to 2:15 during that while we are in Plan B. Again, once we go to Plan A with all students here, our schedule will possibly change. So just be prepared for that. We will adjust things as needed. If it's not working, we'll make adjustments. If it is working, we'll keep rolling. Announcements for the week and give you a heads up. But we hope you have a wonderful week. And always, as always, how can we be better today than we were yesterday? Y'all have a wonderful week, Pirate Nation. Thank you.